Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Amnesia, a machine for pigs. So, we've reached the church, opened this passage, and now, oh boy. No Graham. Silence. Do not startle or upset the acquisitions.
Listen, Papa. Hold the egg to your ear. You can hear the sea.
Oh, God.
Olisteliam, forokoros, forakaros.
Okay. Shit. Shit. And so to the stoking. The workers sing as they work. They sing as they eat. They sing as they make toilet. They are always singing. If you place your ear to the ground, you can hear them still.
issues. Always the water and the sparks of the embers of the wheels. It's too bony! It's too damn bony!
The Mandus Processing Company. My soul shudders at what I have seen, but at last I have reached the main part of the factory. Now onwards, downwards, to find those floodwaters and drain them away. Like Moses, I will cleave the waters and lift my little darlings clear of its vile cradle. Mandus Co. Meat Processing Factory, Anno 1828.
These men, Professor, these so-called men of vision, they would shackle the masses to a wheel and turn it till their backs break. All for that opiate, the lure of profit. These fools who lackey them, these priests, these officials, this government, they make pigs of us all.
But what solution, my dear man? How to break a cycle? You cannot simply remove the promise of a better world for these unfortunates. In the workhouses, in the orphanages, the belief in heaven is surely the only succor one can find.
We do not need to wait. We can bring forth paradise now. We can speed the passion. With only a small sacrifice, we can hold the apocalypse. With just a small sacrifice, we can free our shackles and deliver them to paradise now.
Just a small sacrifice. Yeah, I don't think so. Piston rooms. Okay. A, up or down?
creatures who populate this compound. The way you seek is under the pistons. When you meet the saboteur, you will understand everything.
October 17th, 1899. Each compartment is ergonomically designed with a feed trough at one end, so the product naturally settles into its position ready for the stunning arms to connect to the skull. Oh, stunning arms. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Not arms that look stunning, but arms that actually stun something. We use the natural static charge built up by the friction of the carts against the belt to build an electrical charge which is contained within glass vacuum canisters at the sides of the stunning arm mechanisms and delivered along the stun arms via copper cabling. We have observed that the artificial lightning contained within these canisters seems to calm the product further. Post-stunning, the line tilts sharply to the vertical, the physics of which tips the stun product upwards to fall directly onto the hook of the bleeding line. This hook passes normally through the haunch or thigh of the product, and from this point we dispense with the belt and instead instigate a channeled floor, which creates a funnel allowing blood and byproduct excretions to collect and run to the fluid collection tanks. Works Manager. Stop. Are your furnaces fueled? October 18th, 1899. A series of collecting vents have been installed along the ceiling at this stage of the line. In the process of stunning and bleeding, the product often expels stinking vapors from its digestive system, which can be collected, condensed, and used in the methane boiler to drive the engine as a whole. In this way, the more product is processed, the more power becomes available to the machine, and productivity is actually increased. Simple stroke of genius, but one that encapsulates the benefits of self-regulatory automation. Okay. Alright, 1, 4, and 5 are already powered up. Danger. No entry to the under pistons when machinery is at rest. Lily's arms are made of steel. Lily's arms are silent. The pistons are silent. The plant is at rest. I must poke the hornet's nest to open my way, I fear. The scale of these engines suggests a far greater works than is visible from the surface. My friend must be correct, and the larger part of this plant is underground. We are close to the Thames. No wonder flooding is such a risk. Okay. I didn't look. I don't know if that was there before. Okay, so yeah. 2 is the only one left. Fire and steel. The fires are stoked. Assuming the same architect is responsible here as with the chemical plant, I surmise that a centralized control system regulates and operates the pistons. It should be a simple matter of finding it, and hoping the saboteur relented after simply extinguishing the fires. Okay. Okay. Oh, that froze for a sec. Is it still there? There it is. Where is it? Okay. The descent continues. What did that dark voice instruct me to do? Under the pistons, into the tunnels, and onto the bilge pumps. And if the door should be locked, I will have to find another means of descent. I cannot trust him, but my path is set. I shall ignore those noises, that snuffling, those shuffling steps below me. I will brave whatever lurks beneath, and I will save them. Compound X storage. Danger, no naked flames. April 30th, 1899. The crate arrived this morning, and I had it delivered directly to the workshop. The body is remarkably preserved, although there is a subtle yet nauseating stench of damp and rot. It is humanoid in shape, but has suffered severe skeletal deformity. Remnants of leather straps encase the torso, which is deformed, with evidence of substantial muscle mass and displacement. It is difficult to ascertain whether this unfortunate is the recipient of some barbarous surgery, or was born deformed and an attempt to force his gnarled body into some semblance of humanity was made. What he is, I cannot tell, but I smell the orb upon him, and suspect my great-uncle's presence in his curious condition. So it can be done. We can reshape the body into a tool, accelerate the processes of Mr. Darwin's evolution. But here my great-uncle and I part company. He chose men as the subject of his experiments, but men are difficult to control and rotten with sentimentality. No, we require a new creature for our chattels. Loyal, clever, strong, easily sated. Okay. Yeah, so it sounds like Oswald's a descendant of Alexander of Brennenburg. Chemical transportation. Danger. Highly corrosive, highly flammable. Laboratories. Hmm. In the nest of eggs. Through pennies, sixpence, sparrows, and doves. See all the angels a weeping above. There's no more forgiving, there's no one to save. For today, darling Lily goes into her grave. Okay. Okay, that just seems to be that light, not pigmen about. Sabotage. Bruised and battered, but alive. I have survived the saboteur's best efforts. He and I are now locked in an epic struggle. But I am driven to find my family, and I will prevail. Ignore the madness about me. Do not consider what cruel and unspeakable acts have been committed here. Find the way to the bilge, drain the flood, free your children.
Quickly, Mandus. Find the entrance nearby. The children weep in the darkness, and the flood waters continue to rise.
Hold on. July 15th, 1899. In order to facilitate assimilation of tissue groups, a compound is required, or the cells will not bond. Disposal of non-bonded subjects must be immediate, and using incineration, or we risk continuous animation without form. This is unpleasant. A simple compound of 1 part Brandenburg infusion vitae, 1 part orgone monad dispersal fluid is sufficient. This can then be administered intravenously to subjects following reassembly to maintain bonding. The compound is unstable and highly light reactive. Once in the body, the Schumann lamp can be used to activate the compound, but outside the body is highly corrosive. It can even destroy small quantities of metal. Maintenance access. There is clearly another passage beyond the locked gates. Seems I have a choice of approach. The padlock is old but firm, and after that fall, I cannot summon the strength to break it open. Perhaps I can find another way. Centrifuge. Some form of bizarre mixing device for chemical compounds, and it positively reeks of the foul fluids I have seen too often before. It is clearly a compound, some volatile bastard of 2 composite ingredients. I should wager I would find them close by. Okay, hold on 1 second. Oh, okay. Low temperature storage. Holding pens. Oh, God. Silence, do not startle or upset the acquisitions. August 20th, 1899. Took delivery of another batch of imbeciles today. They are the sorriest specimens of humanity I have ever seen. No one asks where they go to. The authorities of Bedlam are simply happy to reduce the overcrowding in their teeming, stinking halls. We measure their skulls, check their teeth. We give them laudanum to pacify them. They wait in line, livestock, dull brown eyes, and filthy skin. Many soil themselves as they wait. Into the manipulator they file in silence. I hear the hissing of gas. I hear the dull groanings as teeth are removed, as bones are reset. I hear the pigs screaming. We have removed all the mirrors. After the process, it is their reflections that trouble them the most. Afterwards, when they sleep, I walk amongst them. My children, I whisper to their dreams. You are my children now. I have children once again, and your forms imperfect will be the engines to make my own blood flow again. Hold on one second. Oh. Hold on.
Over there, place it in the corner. What? You think I speak Prussian? Do I look like an inbred hawk, sir? Who gives a damn what it contains? Just set it down carefully and leave me be!
Shit.
The lift has been sabotaged. You will have to find another way to the tunnels. Take care in this place, Mandus. It is the crucible of the evil that stalks these corridors.
Facility access. Pig line, opiate dispension, gag throttle, bilge pumps, disposal tubes, engine rooms, boiler, orgone towers. August 4th, 1898. More experiments with Compound X. Took the dog and injected it with strychnine. After the expected convulsions and spasming, it died just after midnight. I immersed the body in a large tank of Compound X and introduced an alternating current via induction coil for a period of 3.5 minutes. Partial return was induced. However, damage incurred prior to death was retained upon arrival, meaning the dog continued in the acute state of strychnine poisoning until I put a bullet in its skull. A drowning? Perhaps, yes. It is, after all, known to be the kindest of suicides. If one were to drown, replacing the fluid in the lungs with Compound X should, theoretically, be perfectly possible as a revival method. Okay, this geometry is not making sense. Wait. Hey, Dog Nozzle. Okay. Oh. There we go. Okay, low temperature storage.
It fell onto his hands and they eroded in front of me. To stumps. To stumps. Next time we will use an equal mix of infusion vitae and orgone disperser. No, just take him out. You can dump him in the river for all I care.
A warning. Inflamed it is, burning it does. Bleeding from each hole, fore and aft, leaking down my legs, blood and excrement. My lungs are in my vomit. I pass clots of my organs now on to the filthy stone. Drink this, he says, and I did drink it. I did do that. Because of the changes, they ripple inner me. My teeth sneeze out and scatter like mice in the dark. Cannot find them all. Gathered what I can. Push them back into my gray gums with my fingers, but the nails are all weepy and falling out. Drink it, he says. It'll help the running of the fever, because not us all can take the change. On the other table, a beast under a blanket. I never wanted to see under that, but he drank it too. He passed it under the blanket, and I heard it drink. God, dear God Almighty, how can a man shit so much blood and still live? Oh. The handle's off there. Oh shit. How much do you know about a machine for pigs, Dog Nozzle? Ah. Heady brew. I have the compound. It hisses and steams in its container like some living thing, a witch's jelly to burn and corrode. The container is made from glass. Strange choice unless there is some particular reason why the metal that pervades everywhere else cannot be brought into contact with this so-called Compound X. I should investigate further for clues. Yeah, a machine for pigs is more of a walking sim than the other games in the series. There's no inventory, no sanity meter. Oh. No. Ah. It's photoreactive.
Down here, Daddy. Faster, faster.
It does have a good, steampunk kind of vibe. This leaking world, and the rhododendrons seem to be taking over the garden by the wall. I could dig them for you? No, no, get out. Get out of this house. You leave them be.
Isn't it dangerous allowing this filthy discharge to collect so close to the core?
We can use the flow to drive the turbines. There will always be a torrent of excreta flooding through these tunnels. We can use this to supplement the steam production and ensure constancy.
Dear God, the stench! This fecal matter is the true product of the age.
flooded tunnels. My mysterious friend is correct. The sewers are indeed flooded. To descend further, I will have to find the local sluice pumps to drop the water levels. The smell is almost unbearable. It makes me gag. Why should the saboteur have flooded the tunnels, though? What did he hope to achieve? Sluice gate 1. August 1st, 1899. Several of the older forms have breached their containment area and escaped into the sewers. They remind me of my limitations. There is no Chaum, and I am no Eliyahu. At least not quite yet. It is the heat generated from keeping the doorway between open that is to blame. We cannot simply pack them about with coolant as we do at the center where the doorway is. The later versions are kept safe by the freezing temperature of those towers. Up here, where the air is hot and fetid, they become overheated and their duality tears them asunder, as the other place flies from their cells and their vitae splinters. They live sporadically, torn from one world to the other and back again in violent, unpredictable bursts. For a few seconds they are creatures of this world, then they are torn away and cease to have physical form. This vicious ripping back and forth between worlds has driven them quite insane. I have ordered the affected areas sealed, and will not allow my loyal workers to enter. These are damned places now, the abode of failed experiments, ghosts of fear and spite. Oh,
Faster, Mandus. Trade the waters that open the way to the bilge pumps. We are waiting for you.
okay. Hmm. Did they close the door and open this one? What the hell is this doing down here?
But we can save them. We can set them free. We can replace a rotten old world with a clean new one. Mr. Landis, you sound every bit the fanatic.
Well, how can I be otherwise, Professor? How can any man of ethics simply stand by and watch this world drown in its own excrement?
And your engineer, this visionary with whom you have embarked upon this course, does he share your views?
Indeed he does. Indeed he does. The poor fellow has seen it all before. Now, this is not the first great civilization he has wept for.
And so you set about things immediately upon your return.
Naturally. These things cannot be left to rot upon the tree. And sponsors were remarkably easy to find. I tell you, Professor, a trail of greed brings rich men to your door like pigs to troubles.
I like the writing in this game, but they do overdo it with the references to pigs. I mean, sometimes it works, but when everything is, when a pig is a metaphor for everything, it's a little much. Oh, there you go. February 17th, 1899. And I said, "Look, my darklings, can you see it?" And they said, "Yes, Daddy, yes, we see it. A tall, weathered cap of a steep-sided pyramid, so like those of Egypt. Stone falling away from the summit, vines crawling about, intertwining the stucco serpents that thrive about the steps. A palpable sense of stillness, a weight of forgotten. And this is where the kings sat, and this is where the priests lived. This is the house of the dead. And here, where the sun strikes, this is where they threw the hearts that were not consumed. No, my darlings, they most certainly were not savages. You see, they believed that the sky could fall on their heads, and they truly, truly believed that offering blood was the only way of stopping this from happening. Perhaps, my darling, perhaps they were mistaken altogether. Or perhaps their tragedy was they could simply not spill blood enough to prevent the sky from falling in upon them. Nandis, post-diluvian. That's done it. Now I can enter the strange decontamination chamber once again and move onwards. The waters are pushed back, making the way to the bilge clear, where I can divert the remainder of this filthy torrent back into the Thames where it belongs, and clear the path to the center of the machine.
That's it, Papa. You're so near now.
I'm gonna have to check once I'm finished with this stream, but the preview I'm getting in OBS appears to be just a little bit darker in color than in reality. Not as bad as it was yesterday. But it's like the colors seem a little more richer than they should be. I don't know if that's just OBS or what. Oh, hold on, I can actually check. 1 second. Uh, yeah, it looks roughly the same, I think. I think it may just be OBS. Yeah, those are the monsters of this game. The pigmen. There are implications that these guys come more or less directly from as a descent from Alexander's gatherers in the first game. A nest of wretches. Dear God, a whole nest of these foul creatures. No mind. My instincts have drawn me thus far, and I am sure somewhere in this dank complex is a means of further descent. I will not see their faces as they go about their dark business. And yet, I watch them sleep and eat and play, and they are so very human, so very childlike. And I will not think of what I have seen, of the chairs and the cages, and I will not think of how such monsters may be sculpted. Because in diary entries, Mandus talks about stuff like compounds from Brennenburg, which is the castle from the first game. And this takes place chronologically afterwards. Remember, work together, sleep alone. Fraternizing will not be tolerated. I don't know if the Penumbra games are in the same continuity. Because what we do know, giving some spoilers for this game, but it's 10 years old at this point. Mandus took a trip to Mexico and found an orb. Disposal tubes, emergency access only. And that's really the thing that ties the Amnesia games together, is the orbs. This game doesn't really add too much to the overall, like, Amnesia lore, but There are orbs about. Also, the character's name, in the main character's name in this game, is Oswald Mandis, which is really on the nose. Uh, One sec. This is a great opportunity to check the color levels. Yeah, it is definitely a little darker. Okay, let me. Bilge pump maintenance access. From tide to spine, he placed his head in the vise and spun the wheel until the skull cracked and the thoughts leaked onto his shoes. It relieved the pressure for a while, but it soon returned. Okay. That's actually where I'm gonna leave it tonight. I wanna double check and see what exactly is going on with the recording. Why it's a little bit darker. to see if I can fix that. Anyway, yeah, that is it. I will be back tomorrow with, I don't know, either more A Machine for Pigs or some Pikmin 2. Either way, I will see you all then. Everyone have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.